Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and Key City Sports on Instagram, and the Key on Millions.co. Here's my profile so that you will know it's me. Here is my media feed so that you can look at all of my segments, clips, and team outlooks from previous shows. And here is my merchandise. We will be rolling out new merchandise on the platform Millions in a few weeks, mainly late this month and into early next month. And we also have a very special guest that is coming on the show today. We have a very special guest. His name, it is a basketball phenom, Javon Brooks. That interview will happen at 12 p.m. So, very special guest. Javon Brooks stops by the show. So now let's get to the 3-game slate that I had on my mind last night. And basically, this game right here is pretty much the best, two of the best two teams in the Eastern Conference when we look at the Detroit Pistons and the Cleveland Cavaliers. For starters, for the Detroit Pistons, Tobias Harris, 31 minutes, 19 points, very efficient. Duncan Robinson, 34 minutes, 8 points. Jalen Duren, 27 minutes, 24 points. Cade Cunningham, 39 minutes, 10 points. That's something that efficiency wise, he wasn't there last night. He was only 4 of 16 from the floor. Didn't make any 3-point shots. Azur Thompson, 31 minutes, 16 points. Bench production, Isaiah Stewart, 22 minutes, 4 points. Ronald Holland II, 19 minutes, 8 points. Javonte Green, 13 minutes, 13 points. Caris LeVert, 13 minutes, 2 points. Danish Jenkins, 11 minutes, 5 points. And everybody else that was on the roster for the Pistons did not play because of coach's decision. Now let's get to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jared Allen, 21 minutes, 8 points. Evan Mobley, 32 minutes, 18 points. James Harden, 35 minutes, 18 points. Sam Morelli, 27 minutes, 9 points. Jalen Tyson, 32 minutes, 22 points. Bench production for the Cavaliers, Thomas Bryant, 16 minutes, 19 points. Dennis Schroeder, 28 minutes, 15 points. Craig Porter Jr., 22 minutes, 7 points. And Keon Ellis, 27 minutes, 7 points. Everybody else on the roster did not play because of coach's decision. We can see as far as team efficiency, 3-point percentage for the Detroit Pistons, 38%. 3-point percentage for the Cleveland Cavaliers, 37%. Free throw percentage, 77% for the Cleveland Cavaliers, 76% for the Detroit Pistons. Offensive rebounds, +1 for Cleveland. Defensive rebounds, +7 for Detroit. Assists, 29-27 in favor of Detroit. Steals, 9-7 in favor of Detroit. Blocks, 7-4 in favor of Detroit. Total turnovers, 14-10. Detroit turned the ball over more. Points in the paint, 48-40 in favor of the Detroit Pistons. Now, one thing that I can say is that if it comes to a point where both of these teams face each other in the playoffs, this is as close as a pick'em series that we can get because we don't know what type of Detroit team we are going to see from night to night. Now, a few nights ago on Friday night, Detroit, they beat Cleveland. Last night, they had trouble with Cleveland. I believe It's probably because they had different times on the road, because Detroit, they faced Cleveland in Detroit. Cleveland faced Detroit in Cleveland. So alternate wins on each other's home floor. So, well, alternate wins on their home floor. Now we get to a point where we get to the standings. We get to the standings and we see where Cavaliers are still in that fourth spot and the Detroit Pistons are in the first spot in the East. Pretty much good, entertaining game. It came down to the last few seconds, and that's what you want in a game like this. That is what you want in a game like this, because late fourth quarter, you see this late fourth quarter, down by 7. Well, they made it down by 5. It was very, very entertaining, but here it is. James Harden with his signature move, he got blocked there. But, Cavaliers has been a resilient bunch. They come back and they hit a 3. It's back up to 5 by Evan Mobley. See, this is what I've been saying. The Detroit Pistons, they are a young, up-and-coming team, but I believe they got it all the way down to 1 point with under 3 minutes left. But they could not get a significant defensive stop when they needed to. And that was pretty much the nail in the coffin now. After Cleveland made that last 3 and the Detroit Pistons pretty much wasn't able to stop Cleveland on the other end. As you can see, look at this. 2 dribbles to the basket. You cannot have that if you are the Detroit Pistons. You cannot have that happen if you are going to go on a long playoff run. James Harden again for 2. And then here's another one. Detroit Pistons, they got a defensive stop, fast break, down by 5 with under 20 seconds left. And see, look at this. It got all the way down to a 3-point game. So it was pretty much, free throws from there. So only thing the Cavaliers did, they made one of their free throws. And as you all can see, that's where this game comes up, 113 to 109. The next game I am going to cover, the San Antonio Spurs and the Philadelphia 76ers. I really don't know what I was looking at last night, because we all know that the Spurs are the second best team. But let me look at the statistics, because Philadelphia, did they drop? No, Philadelphia is still at the 6th spot, but they look like they played like the worst team in the East last night. They did, because as you can see, when it comes to their bench production for the Philadelphia 76ers will be their downfall. As you can see, when it comes to the Spurs, Julian Champagne, 22 minutes, 10 points. Victor Wembanyama, 24 minutes, 10 points. De'Aaron Fox, 21 minutes, 11 points. Devin Vassell, 23 minutes, 22 points. He was very efficient. Stephon Castle, 21 minutes, 15 points. Bench production, Kelly Olynyk, 12 minutes, 0 points. Lindy Waters, the third, 8 points in 12 minutes. Keldon Johnson, 22 minutes, 12 points. Carter Bryant, 26 minutes, 11 points. Bismack Biyombo, 12 minutes, 5 points. Luke Cornett, 12 minutes, 2 points. Jordan McLaughlin, 12 points. 3 points in 12 minutes. Dylan Harper, 22 minutes, 22 points. He scored a point every minute, and that is very, very efficient. For the Philadelphia 76ers, as you can see, when it comes to their starters, Dominic Barlow, 13 minutes, 0 points. He's got to do better. He only had 4 shots. They got to get him into the game more often. Andre Drummond, 5 minutes, 2 points. Quentin Grimes, 22 minutes, 2 points. Bad, very bad. Tyrese Maxey, 25 minutes, 21 points. VJ Edgecombe, 20 minutes, 6 points. Trendon Watford, 26 minutes, 9 points. Jabari Walker, 19 minutes, 20 points. Dalen Terry, 16 minutes, 4 points. Justin Edwards, 26 minutes, 9 points. Adam Bona, 22 minutes, 6 points. Cameron Payne, 26 minutes, 10 points. Tyrese Martin, 19 minutes, 2 points. Kyle Lowry did not play because of coach's decision. For everybody that is a Philadelphia 76ers fan out there, what in the world was that last night? It got to a point in the game where I was pretty much looking at other stuff. I mean, I was pretty much, looking at the NFL draft stuff. That's how bad this game was. And I was watching it in order to cover this game this morning. But once the lead got to 98 to 57, I'm saying to myself, I'm like, okay, is Tyrese Maxey not playing tonight? We already know that Joel Embiid, he ain't playing. So that's pretty much half your offense there. But, I mean, outside of the Spurs, they were very efficient last night. And as you can see, 55% shooting from the floor, which is very efficient according to NBA standards. But as far as the 76ers, where was the defense last night? Defending players at the basket. There was so many layups that the 76ers allowed last night. And then you have 3-point shots. San Antonio Spurs, they made 18 threes last night. That was pretty much a blowout in and of itself. When it comes to the 76ers, they only made 10. Free throw disparity, not too much. They shot the same amount of free throws. But turnovers, they pretty had much of the same turnovers. Spurs had 17 turnovers, and the Philadelphia 76ers had 14. But points in the paint and not being able to defend for the 76ers, that is why they lost this game. And I'm not going to bore y'all to death with these highlights, but I know for some people they didn't watch the game, so I'm just going to show y'all a few highlights. But I'm not going to stay on this game too longer. I'm going to just show y'all maybe, I'm going to say 5-6 highlights, and that'll be it. So here it is, fourth quarter. Spurs, it's already 126 to 82. And this is going to be another highlight here. And let's see. I'm going to show you all the final score, 131 to 91. That was a 40-point beatdown, and pretty much that's what it was. They just blew the doors off, and in the first quarter, the Spurs were up by as many as 17 in the first quarter. 17, that's bad for the 76ers. So right now, the 76ers, they are the number 16 in the East, and if they lose, and that's what I'm saying, if they lose, go on a losing streak, then they would be in the play-in tournament. But one thing that I'm saying about the Philadelphia 76ers, downfall for the Philadelphia 76ers, we don't know what we're going to see from Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid, he may be able to start and he may not. And that bench production for the Philadelphia 76ers is some nights it's just downright awful. So I don't have any faith as far as the Philadelphia 76ers getting out of the first round, because first round they would have to face the New York Knicks. That's what they would do. They would have to face the New York Knicks, and I just don't see the 76ers beating the New York Knicks in a 7-game series. But I digress. We still have 5 more weeks left in the NBA season. A lot can change between now. Today is March 4th. A lot can change between March 4th and April 23rd when the playoffs start. Just keep watching. Keep watching the NBA because we have a lot of games that we need to cover, and the records are going to fluctuate night after night. We got a 4 game slate for tonight, and it's pretty much there are some big games that are on the schedule for tonight. So the last game I'm going to talk about for this segment is the New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors. 2 more teams that are fighting for playoff spots. So for all you New York Knicks fans out there, Stephen A. Smith in particular, shout out to Stephen A. Smith. Hopefully you're watching this show. If you don't, I can tag you in it so I can come on your show and we can chop it up, my brother. But back to what I was saying, the New York Knicks had a bounce back effort last night. New York Knicks, very efficient. OG Anunoby, he had 15 points. Karl Anthony Towns, 21 points. Josh Hart, he's the defensive specialist for the New York Knicks. He had 12 points. Mikal Bridges, 11 points. And Jalen Brunson, 26 points. Bench production for the Knicks. See, this is where I have to stay back. Because the Knicks, they can go on a 3-4 game winning streak, and you know everybody and their mama that's a New York Knicks fan is up and at them. You got Stephen A. talking about orange and blue skies. You got Fat Joe showing up to Madison Square Garden. Spike Lee showing up to Madison Square Garden talking about we gonna do it. And then all of a sudden you look at the bench production. Jeremy Sloan, 0 points. Mohamed Dwara, 8 points. Mitchell Robinson, 2 points. Ariel Hakaporti, 0 points. Landry Shamet, 12 points. Jose Alvaro, 4 points. And then you have the last 2 players that are on the bench that played last night, only 0 points. So if the Knicks are going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, or dare I say the NBA Finals, bench production is going to have to improve. All of these players' statistics from the bench is not good. But the New York Knicks are at a crossroads. See, Tom Thibodeau was the former coach for the New York Knicks. And it seems like he played the same exact way. Had all of his starters play 25 plus minutes. See, this is what Mike Brown has. He has all of his starters playing 25 plus minutes. As you can see, OG Anunoby, 27. Karl Anthony Towns, 29. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, 30 plus minutes. And you had Jalen Brunson playing 37 minutes. See, this is where I say the starting 5, they are going to get worn out as you go deeper and deeper into the playoffs, because you don't have anybody that can come off the bench and give you 20 points. As you can see right here, when it comes to the Knicks, nobody, and I do mean nobody on the Knicks, can consistently come off the bench and score 20 points. That's why I say the New York Knicks, whoever they play in the first round, and it's looking like that they are going to face the Philadelphia 76ers, who knows, they may win. But when you get to a team like, let's say, if they face the Toronto Raptors in the second round, Toronto Raptors are a young bunch too. But we don't know what type of Toronto team we are going to see, because the young, inexperienced bunches can sometimes surprise people. But we expect a team that is seasoned and experienced like the New York Knicks to go further in the playoffs, because the New York Knicks, like I said in my segment last month, in my season remaining outlook for the New York Knicks, the New York Knicks, the last 2 seasons have been to the Eastern Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals again. What are they gonna do? See, this is what I've been saying. See, this is Mike Brown's first year. Now, I always say when it comes to head coaches, first year you have growing pains. Second year, improvement. Third year, you need to become a playoff contender. Fourth year, you should be, well, I'm gonna say this fourth year, you should be advancing. You should be advancing in the playoffs, and by that fifth year, you should be a championship team. But one thing about this is with the New York Knicks. See, if they would have brought back Tom Thibodeau, this would have been Tom Thibodeau's 6th year at the helm. So you got the blueprint, but I just believe that the New York Knicks, they threw in the towel on Tom Thibodeau too early. Now, Tom Thibodeau is old-fashioned. Mike Brown is old-fashioned. So it's not really a difference I see when it comes to their coaching styles. I don't. So, New York Knicks, hey, you still got a chance, to increase your spot in the standings. Let's see. New York Knicks, they are the 3rd team right now in the East. Celtics, they are the 2nd team. And the Celtics and Knicks, they only separate themselves by a game and a half. Only separate themselves by a game and a half. So, but let me get to the Toronto Raptors. Toronto Raptors, a team that has been flying under the radar in the Eastern Conference all season. Pretty much all of their starters average over 30-plus minutes, which is not good because I see a lot, and do see this a lot of times when it comes to bench production. When you have your starting 5 averaging 30 minutes here, 32 minutes here, 38 minutes here, 37 minutes here for your top 2 guys. They both average 37. Where is the scoring coming off of the bench? Because you see right here, I just want y'all to look at this. See, this is where Toronto Raptors, they gonna slip up in the playoffs. You got 2 guys that scored 4 points for the Toronto Raptors last night. 2 guys. You only had 8 points off the bench last night. Only 8 points. And see, this is why I say, when it comes to bench production, going into the playoffs, it's critical. You need all your ducks in a row for the playoffs. You do. And when it comes to the only big Toronto Raptors fan I know is Drake. And was Drake even at the game last night? Because Toronto Raptors, they didn't have it last night. And as far as the Toronto Raptors, they would be facing the Cleveland Cavaliers if the playoffs were to start next week. So, all in all, this was a very, very close and entertaining game. The final score doesn't indicate how good the scoring was. So I'm going to just show y'all a few highlights. Starting out this game, we're going to start around the midway point of the second quarter, where the game was tied at 39. Then we get to the point where, late fourth quarter, we see where the New York Knicks are starting to pull away. Knicks are up by 5. Jalen Brunson gets the ball. Jalen Brunson with 2. Now the New York Knicks are up by 7 in this game. And as we get to under 2 minutes left, see, they had a chance to win. They had a chance. The Toronto Raptors had a chance to make a game of it. But by the time, that was pretty much nail in the coffin there. Up 9. The New York Knicks was up by 9 with under 2 minutes left. Another steal by the Knicks. And another shot that was made. They were up by 11 with under 2 minutes left. And that was pretty much the game. So when we get to the finality of what this game incurred, basically everybody, you already looking at your playoff team. You are already looking at a first round playoff series if you are a Cavaliers or a Raptors fan. Because I don't see the Raptors or the Cavaliers increasing their record in the standings. Because you have Detroit, you have Boston, you got New York. Now, New York is a little iffy from time to time, but the top three in the East, I'm very comfortable to say that the top three in the East are going to stay because you only have 19 more games left, and that is 6 more weeks. So, not too much is going to, well, I can't really say not too much is going to happen. A lot is going to happen within the next 6 weeks, but we had entertaining game. We had two entertaining games last night, and then we had ourselves a blowout. And Philadelphia 76ers, tough sledding because if the 76ers somehow fall into the play-in tournament, 76ers, I would say that the Atlanta Hawks can beat the 76ers. And I already know that people are going to say, well, that's a little bit outlandish, but if Joel Embiid isn't there and Tyrese Maxey is not on the ball like he needs to, as far as scoring efficiently, the 76ers won't even get out of the play-in tournament. And with that, that is my Tuesday night reaction of NBA games. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports right here on Instagram, and the Key on Millions.co. Here is my media feed. Well, here's my profile so that you will know it's me. Here is my media feed for all the different segments that we've been doing and team outlooks. And we are also, here is my merchandise. We are going to have new merchandise in a few days. And remember, everybody, we have a very special guest that will be joining us on the show at 12 p.m. Basketball phenom Javon Brooks will stop by the show. So make sure, everybody, you set your clocks for 12 p.m. And if you are not able to watch it live, we will have it on YouTube, Instagram, and all other social media platforms around 3 o'clock this afternoon. So, everybody, remember one last thing. Remember, the key is always on time.